Hello everyone, Ron again. We're back with another video, but this time I decided to try out something new. So, Izotope, the same people who make Ozone and RX, they are, or they have been rather, making a new series of plugins, and it started with Plasma. And it seems to be that the premise behind these plugins is that they are all responsive and they all have some type of like modulation. So, Plasma does saturation. Aurora, the next one is reverb, and it's kind of similar to like Lux Verb in FL Studio where it ducks. So Cascadia is the newest one that came out as of the time of recording this video, and it apparently does delay. So I figured it would be fun to make a video just giving my initial thoughts, having a first look at it. So I basically just opened it here, and it's got a similar display to the other two, and I have the other two actually also. They didn't send it to me or anything. I just decided to buy them because I really like the idea. And since I'm an Isotope fan, I just want to check them out, see what I think of them, and how I'll use them creatively in mixing. Or, you know, maybe maybe they have a different plugin because it occurs to me that like Isotope has exponential audio. So they have a lot of potential for making good reverb. And they have the other reverbs because they have the algorithms already. So that's where Neoverb actually came from. So if they make something that's better than this, then I might just switch to using that. Of course, it remains to be seen where else this will go because how many things can you do with reverb? But I'm still a fan. I still like the creative ideas they come up with. But with that being said, let's get into it. So what we got here is Cascadia, the newest one at the time of recording, and it's loaded onto this track. And what I did was I just pulled up some synthesizers with some sounds that I like. Most of them are pluck sounds, but some of them sustain. And I just want to see what they sound like. And I just want to see what this plugin can do. But I wager that it's pretty straightforward. So there are some things you can tell immediately. For example, something that stands out if you look right here, there's like an eighth note, and you've got the 250 milliseconds. So that means that this switches it to be quantized. So it's an eighth note, and then that means that you can change the speed of the delay. So that's pretty cool, but it's kind of like a standard thing. And you can drag it so it moves. Ping pong. This is the new convention where they've got just like a wheel, right? So it reminds me of like those plugins that have just one knob. Like, let's go see if I can find it real quick. Regular patcher, right? And then patcher has things like, where is it? Like 1K reverb. It reminds me of this, like where it's just a single knob that you have. That's pretty cool. So, moving along, you've got the standard delay things. It's got feedback, which obviously is going to make the delay last longer, and width, which is going to be stereo separation, and probably at 0% is mono. And then looking at this modulation depth and the modulation rate, what I reason upon just looking at it is that that's kind of like you can use it to make a chorus effect, because a chorus effect is basically just having the signal delayed several times and modulating the pitch so it sounds like it's coming from more than one source. So if it was people singing in a choir or a chorus together, they're all singing at slightly varied pitches. Nobody is perfectly on key and nobody is perfectly in time. So that's why you get the chorus effect. And that's what the chorus effect is labeled after or named after. because you got people at different pitches singing at slightly different times within milliseconds of each other. So it makes sense that you would be able to use this chorus or any other one by modulating these things to create that effect. And judging by the other ones, because I've opened those two, but with this one, it's really like basically my first time looking at it. These are, this is the control that makes the delays duck when the regular signal comes in. And when it's unmasking, because you see how it says unmask, this is the attack time and this is the release time. So it's going to take 10 seconds, 10 milliseconds to get to the maximum amount that it's going to duck. So let's say signal comes in, there's a delay happening, signal plays, it takes 10 milliseconds for it to duck this much. And then after the signal ends, it's going to take 300 milliseconds for it to stop. Sensitivity is 50%, so then most likely by increasing that, it's going to just respond to more of the signal until you get to it's responding to 100% of the signal. And what do we got here? Okay, so this deactivates this section. And probably this is just to listen to the difference. Yeah. So it's like you could have solo delay. Oh, you can reverse the delay. That's probably fun. It's got a bypass button. So that's pretty cool. So then this must be so you can just listen to like the delta. All of these controls are over here. And it's like having a computer, having a desktop, having a monitor, like a screen, is kind of far away. It's hard to see. So then there's going to be the obvious presets. It's got a bunch of them, right? Some classic ones, whatever that is supposed to mean. And crossfire, I think it says. It's really hard to see. The monitor really is pretty far. Okay, guess maybe I could go through some of these and give my initial thoughts. User presets, that one's going to be empty because I didn't make any. So, start off with the first sound, which I named the bongo pluck. All right, so it's unmasking. But what's funny is that there's no delay. So by turning this up, let's make it so not so much unmasking. And make this faster. Turn up the feedback. Feedback is here. Okay, I like this so far. Turn feedback all the way up. So this has got to be like delay volume, so to speak. Interesting. It's interesting that when the feedback is turned up, that these notes they're kind of like really pronounced, you know? Like what I'm trying to do is to see if it will actually begin to sound like reverb, but it's not really so diffused. It's like it's really trying to hit that actual like note. You know, it's kind of like a drum roll. Like play it right, left, right, left. I like it. So if we slow it down, okay, I'm enjoying this. Slow it down some more. Okay, that would be cool for something that's like either a horror effect or something like at the end of a song. You know, one of those sounds that it plays for something dramatic. Let's say you might have something like you know when you're watching a movie, somebody's like running through a field of flowers or something like that. And it's like a memory from their past, and they've got something that sounds like a bunch of like random guitar notes, and it's meant to sound all peaceful. It's like that kind of thing. That's what it makes me think of. Something like that. All right, so that's cool. So that's one sound down. Now these, anything that is a preset of mine called shimmer something is a sound made of reverb. So first we test that's not too loud. Now let's see what it's like adding reverb to delay. Mm. This will make for an awesome, like, atmospheric, cinematic, anything. So what I'm gonna do, solo the delay. Okay, let's reverse it. Suppose that I reverse and solo it. Oh yeah, you could just feel the potential that this plugin has for like cinematic stuff, like textures or anything that's horror related. Because if you did some like, yeah, that would be so very nice in whatever way it comes. But let's see, with this reversed, mixed in with the original signal, let's say about 50%. And then when you play the original, it makes the reversed one duck. A little too much. So decrease the release. So clearly, you'll have to do a decent amount of adjusting until you get it to the level that you want it to be at. But when you get it there, I think. Or even if you don't unmask, try enhancing the width. Ping pong. Okay. Bypass that. Yeah. Yeah, I think you get the point. That that would be a lot of fun. Create like a soundscape, something that's really textural, especially let's say if you have a sound that's really like weird, which I don't think I actually loaded that kind of sound here. The next one is another one that's reverb. So I'm gonna turn this one down. This is a sound which crescendos. So put the unmasking back on. Okay. So you've got a long sustainable sound like that. Maybe it's the width. Maybe I'll turn that down. kind of like it sounds nice, but it doesn't sound to me like it's making a ton of difference. Try this, I guess. Yeah, it sounds a little bit like shimmer reverb. So I guess that's pretty nice. But I want to know, is it the result of the delay being added or just because the sound is made of reverb? So maybe it is both. It could be the combination. Regardless, I think it sounds cool. But based on this first look at it, it works better with short sounds the way you would expect. Hmm. Now, something that's fun is actually to add a delay and set it to like, how much would it be? It'd be like a whole note and a half, like 6 beats or six 16th notes. So like 3/8 notes. Let me see. It doesn't have that option. But if you have something playing an effect like that, it is a great deal of fun. So I was thinking to myself, how would I compare this to like Fruity Delay 3? Why would I use this instead of stock? So what I'm thinking is, first of all, I love the interface of this thing. I guess I didn't test this. Let's see what. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So it does. It modulates the pitch the way you would expect. I didn't notice this down here either. Oh, okay. It's got like you can choose the frequency bands that you want. Like so you're not adding delay to bass. That's pretty cool. Overall, I would rate Cascadia very well. I think it's a cool plugin. I like it. Obviously, I'm an Izotope fan, like I said. But thinking about it, I want to be kind of objective because, like, why should you use this instead of like stock plugins, right? As you can see, it reminds me of other things, but it does have its own unique feature. So let's say, for example, if I'm doing something, these are stock plugins in FL Studio. And so is Citrus for that matter, right? Citrus has effects built into it. It's got reverb and delay that are standard. And the delays come from delay 3. The reverb comes from Fruity Reverb 2. So the question would be, do you need this and why? Now, I think there's the obvious that you could buy it because you want it, because you like it. You know, it makes sense that at some point in the future, they might do something with it where there's inner plug-in connectivity. So it does something where it harnesses whatever things you capture with audio lens or with like mix assistant. And it would be cool if they did do that. And I don't know if they want to make an advanced version of this, but that would be a nice touch. So as of yet, that hasn't been done because that's just something I thought of just now. But if they did, then that would be a reason to have it, especially if it came as like an update, I guess. But I don't know that they would sell something that would be that powerful for like just $50. As far as it being a delay plugin, well, you've got stock delay plugins like this, which can do the same thing and arguably more because Fruity Delay 3 allows you to control not just the tempo sync amount of time and just like you could unsync it, but you could specifically set it to like a number of 16th notes, not just 16th notes. So like here, you can set this to a half note. You can set it to half note triplets, and then you've got 16th notes. Oh, this is dotted 16th notes. So that's like three, what do you call it? Three 30-second notes. One 16th note is two 30-second notes. And then you've got 16th note triplets, right? And that's cool. So then you've got half note triplets. I mean, half dotted half note, three 16th notes. But if you're in FL Studio, Fruity Delay 3, you can see at the top where you could set it that way anyway. Like it's gonna say here, because it counts in 16th notes, it's four of them, so it's a quarter note. But you could choose for it to be three 16th notes, two 16th notes is an eighth note. And somewhere in between you could set it, or you could actually, I suppose if you did it like mathematically, you could set this that way too. But that just feels like more work. Maybe for professionals, no, because professionals, they use like reverb calculators and delay calculators too. And I'm wondering, did my camera turn off? Like it does eventually. No, I don't think it did. Whatever. Anyway, so you might not be into the idea of doing all that math. It's got the delay, the ping pong effect, which is like standard kind of now, kind of what you expect. But you see, like, there are extra features sometimes that you get because with FL Studio, Fruity Delay 3 has this feedback knob and it comes orange. And then when it starts turning red, it actually increases instead of decreasing. So the feedback gets louder after the signal goes through the feedback loop. When it gets here, it just continues until you stop the signal yourself. It continues like indefinitely. So this plugin being $50, the main utility of it is that it offers this unmasking, which I think if that's something that you're using it in the mix, because I haven't used it in the mix, I literally just bought it like yesterday or the day before. So I haven't tested it out that way. But if it's unmasking places where there are resonances, that could be very useful if the mix is like dynamic. So I could envision a scenario where you got a bunch of things and they clutter a certain frequency and you can unmask like whatever amount that you want. So that would be cool. Maybe it's good for taming resonances. But overall, I'm pleased. I love the way it looks. And I think that this right here, this is something that Fruity Delay 3 does not have, as far as I know. It doesn't like. Oh, no. Sorry, no, it does. It just only does it in one direction. So you have like the feedback has low pass and high pass. And yeah, bandpass would be doing both of them. But this does give you a better option in that case. So I would say to evaluate this, there's nothing that specifically makes it so that you need it. But I think it's interesting. I think it has potential. I think that maybe we could find more uses for it. And I like it myself. I still recommend it. It's not like it's not trying to be something that it isn't. It's not trying to be something that's a like crazy utility like Neutron 4. But I think actually in terms of something from an isotope package, that's a good thing. Because normally I never stop complaining about the amount of CPU these things take. So for them to make something simple like this that probably doesn't take so much is like a good answer to that. You know, it's just something that's really simple. You can just put it on a bus and you could put different instruments to use it and they can just simply sound good. Or if you want to use it independently, then that's when you solo the delay, you know, or rather you solo the delay when you put it on a bus. When you want to just put it on the instrument itself, then you don't solo the delay. You have like the mix knob. But overall, I think it's pretty cool. So, leave your thoughts below. If you like this kind of video, then, well, please express that too. Any questions, anything else that you think I should make videos on, especially if you want to see the other two, Aurora and Plasma. And yeah, that's all I got for today. So if you stuck around to the end of the video, then thank you for watching. And I hope you got something out of this. As usual, have an awesome day. Peace.